is sponsored by Skechers.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Long Run Show, sponsored by Skechers, who are our good friends that keep us going. So thank you to those guys. Tonight I'm joined by the lovely Petra, Gemma, Mel, and our special guest, Jatila Blake, who we're going to be talking to about all things running, including going from sprinting to marathon runner to working in running events, and then we're all going to be talking about running rituals. So please do send us your comments. We should be hopefully live on YouTube and Facebook. Please do. We'll try and get a link on Facebook. So please do click on that so we can see your name, or just put your name when you comment so we know who you are. And yes, so please do send us in your running rituals, all your comments, and all your love. So, how is everybody? Petra?
Good, yeah. You?
Yeah, I'm all right. I've had a great week, but we'll get into that in a second. I knew you were going to do that, me. Gemma, how are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Work's been quite manic.
Yeah.
There's something in the air. I don't know if it's the weather. I'm sure Mel knows what that's like, working in a school as well. But yeah, no, not too bad. Not too
Was
bad.
the school open today? Did you have a snow day?
No, all open.
Open. Oh.
Just the weather. There's raining and things. A lot of them being kept in, not being able to go outside, and a lot of wet play, and yeah.
And Mel?
Yeah, it's better towards the end of the week. I've had this vomiting bug that's been going around at the beginning of the week, which wasn't great, and a lot of the staff and children at school, we've also had a bit of the vomiting. But I had a good weekend on the Saturday just before, so finally. I didn't realise quite how long it was since I'd got the sort of time I had for my 5K, but it was the fastest time I'd done since April 2019.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's still not a fast time, but for me, I was well chuffed.
And where did you do that? Was it a park run, or were you just
at park run? Just at park run. I just actually kind of, as Hayden would say, put in a shift for that one.
Oh, well done. And how did you feel all right afterwards?
Yeah. I think with I think going back to when I did the marathon in 21, I think everything just got a bit slower, and then I did a lot of plodding, a lot of excuses to, just plod rather than really put stuff in a little bit. And so hopefully things. I'm aiming. Hopefully by the end of the year, I might get another sub 30. That'd be good. That's my aim.
Great. And Jatila, how are you? It's lovely to have you.
I'm so excited.
Amazing. We're excited to have you.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Vouch for sort of Mel and Gemma. Busy week with work. I head off to New York on Sunday for a work event. So as you can imagine, all systems go when it comes to events, but it's been good. It's been a good week. Yeah.
Oh, great. And it's been last weekend was really busy, wasn't it? We had the FORDY community, I feel like, was out in full force, whether it be park runs like Mel just said. We had the guys out in Tokyo, so actually huge congrats to them. So Toby and Hayden, who obviously host the show usually, were out in Tokyo and they were both incredible, along with Louisa, and I know Marissa was out there, and there was probably loads of others. So congratulations to all of those guys, because I think that's a tough gig, isn't it, going all the way to the other side of the world, running a marathon and just not really knowing what you're getting yourself into, I guess.
No, definitely. I think Edinburgh was far enough for me.
Also going over to Japan, because of the direction you're traveling in as well, that jet lag arriving is much, much harder than going the other way. It's, say, if you were going to the States to do New York or Chicago, Boston, at least then I think the jet lag isn't so bad on the way out. It's more on the way back. So actually having that to actually then go and run a race within a few days is quite tough.
Yeah, well, I hope you're right, because I'm going to Chicago later in the year, so I'm not very good on jet lag, so that'll be interesting.
I am awful with jet lag, so I need any tips that anybody's got in, because it's not great. Oh.
We'll ask Hayden and Toby, because Hayden's done a few abroad now, and Toby's obviously done Tokyo now. So we'll pick their brains and we'll find out the tips on jet lag and surviving an international marathon. And then there was Cambridge and Chelmsford as well, where there was people out in full force, the community. So that was brilliant and lovely to see. Taylor, can we talk to you?
First of all, before we go into me, don't just skip past because we all know that we need to know how you got on. Because I know we all know, but not everybody knows. So come on.
I've got really rude all of a sudden.
No, we don't. We want to hear it.
So I think people that have been listening for a while know that I've been chasing that sub 2, and it just wasn't happening. And no matter what I did, it was like this weird thing that on paper it was like it should have happened. It just wasn't. And Gemma and Petra I've run with quite a bit. We're both like, it's going to happen, and when it happens, you'll take a chunk out. And then even a couple of weeks ago, I was out with Chris and Simon, and they both went, when it happens, you'll take a chunk out, whether it's that weekend or not. And then it was one of those things where I knew I was going to go for it, and I think people close to me kind of knew that I was going to try. And I think the boys said they knew, because we were talking about fueling a few days before, and I was like, I'm going to take 3 gels, which I've never done in a half. I'd usually take 2. I think I've done it on 1 before as well. And I was like, I'm going to go 3.5, 7, and 10.5. And they were like, all right, good. And so I just went out, and it was just one of those days. I think it all just kind of came together, and it was freezing, but the weather was a good run. So I went from, I did the sub 2, and I ended at 1:55.45. So took a huge chunk out, which was very exciting. And I was so excited that I ran back to tell the boys, who had obviously already finished, and I'd forgotten to get a medal. So they're like, honestly, Mel, you would have died. So I get back, and I'm like, oh my God. And they're like, how did you do it? And I was like, 1:55. I think I'm like a bit short on my watch, but I think it's like 1:55, 1:56. And they were like, great. And then I go, okay, I'm just going to go and get my bag, because it was obviously very cold and I didn't want to get too cold. And they go, where's your medal? And I was like, oh yeah, where is my medal? And I was like, and then I look at them, and I'm like, they've got these drinks, and I'm like, where did you get a drink from? Where's all this come from? And they were like, didn't you get your medal? And I went, oh no, I didn't walk all the way through. I jumped out of the queue because I knew where I was going to meet them, and I was so excited to get back. I was like a Tigger toy, like bouncing around. But I then had to run back and go and get this medal. I was like, oh yeah. So yes, I was very excited, and it was a very good run.
Smashed it. No, well done.
Thanks. It's one of those things, isn't it? Like we all say, on a good day, it will happen, and when there's no pressure. So.
I remember sitting with Carl for so long when he was trying to get his sub 2, and then just like you'd done, and the boys have said, you then just cut that chunk out of it. He went from not being at 2 and being sort of like 2:05, 2:04, and then went to like 1:52, I think it was, or something. It was just like, it just happens. Well done.
Yeah, thanks. It was.
Can I just say, we all say it just happened, like I've said to you, it will just happen. But at the same time, it doesn't just happen. It happens because you have put the work in, it's a process, and it takes time, but your journey has been phenomenal. From when you started the Broxbourne by the bins on the Wednesday, and it's just been so lovely. And when, honestly, like I said to you, Sabrina, I didn't text you the night before. I knew you were going for it. Didn't text you the night before because I thought she doesn't need that pressure, it will happen when it happens. But honestly, I was so proud. I kept like checking, I think it's Strava up yet, are the results up yet? And so proud.
Make sure you stay on that cloud 9, honestly. Just enjoy every moment. I bet this week has been pretty grand thinking about it.
Oh yeah, I messaged Petra at one point. She was like, how you doing? And I was like, I'm on cloud 9. I don't know. And then you're like, God, there's so much going on in the world. Why am I so excited about? And like people that don't run don't get it, because my friends were like, oh yeah, great, you had a good run, you got a PB. They've got no. It's funny, isn't it? If you're not a runner, you've got no kind of like understanding or no context. Whereas they just were like, oh yeah, you've run quicker than you've ever run. That means you've worked harder, or you've put some effort in, or whatever you do training. Whereas I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, you've got no idea what that
That's
like.
why you go to the running community first, always.
You're right. Even
Mum's
at home, my mum was like, "How was it?" And I was like, "Yeah, great." And she's like, "Oh, like, well done." You know, you're like, you don't understand. Like, I know you're really pleased, but you've got no idea what 6.5 minutes means. Yeah, it is. It's one of those things. I mean, like, I thought I'd come in about 1:58, so to go beyond that. But Gemma, you had said, hadn't you, like sometimes you get one of those years where things just click, don't
Yeah, absolutely. And it was really strange because you're like you smashed that 10K, didn't you? The winter 10K, and it was almost exactly the same time as my PB, my 10K PB. And there's been a few other sort of things you've done. I thought, yeah, that's my 2019 PB, and I thought she's going to do around my same time for the half marathon than you did.
Did I?
Yeah, it was around. We're pretty much, I think, like just like 10 seconds or 20 seconds out.
You didn't know that?
Yeah.
Getting there close.
Amazing.
Maybe the marathon's going to happen as well. If I can run a marathon like you, then
yeah, absolutely. You'll be too quick for me now, Sabrina.
Oh God, no.
Yes, you are.
But right, so and actually, Mel and Jatila, you guys know each other, don't you?
We've met before.
Yes, we have. I was saying to you, Sabrina, we had met at Hampton Court. So my regular park run is Bushy, and I worked at the Hampton Court Palace half marathon over many, many, many years. And we had a load of the FORDY runners come to an event one time. And it's, you know what it's like? It's absolutely chaos from beginning to end. It's like if you've got that one group of people that you can just tell are on form, going to get the job done, you just leave them to it, because I've got a start line to be at in 30 seconds. I remember she took full lead in terms of the volunteer team. All the 40 runners were at the Hampton Court Palace half marathon, and they just took control. At one point, I actually think I asked Mel what the process was here, because I come running back, and I was like, it's all fine. Like, it was absolutely fine, and it was a great event. It was well managed. Everyone just enjoyed themselves. It was great. So yeah, I mean, the first time we met was quite chaotic, but it was for a good cause, right?
It was amazing. It was in last March for the half. It was like one of the first bigger events coming back and everything. And I think people were really kind of excited about doing it. It was one that didn't have the restrictions, and you just had a load of extra people sign up on the day. So we suddenly had all this extra baggage to get into this small bit. So we constructed another baggage marquee, basically.
Yeah. I remember it vividly, like it was yesterday. It was the first big one, because the one prior was the last Hampton Court Palace event that we knew it was going to be before the lockdown. So it was like, all up in the air. And then it turned to be the first one that we came back to. So it was really nerve-wracking, and the team were just phenomenal. Like, the volunteers, they just make the show. It was incredible. Big highlight. I actually had someone message me about a few hours ago asking me if there were any volunteer slots for Hampton Court Palace this year. And I obviously don't work for the company anymore. So I was like, yeah, of course, just email. So it's a big thing. And it's fantastic. Absolutely smashed it, guys.
And Petra, what are you up to at the moment?
Not very much, really. I haven't got much booked in. I've got other things going on in life, really. So it's running's taken a bit of a back seat, but enjoying it more, I think, because I can just go and do what I want to do instead of training for anything in particular. So
and how's the North London satellite going?
Yeah, really well. They're an amazing bunch, and loving that. So that's really good fun.
Yeah. So Jatila, Petra runs one of our satellites up in what's it called? Yeah, North London. So if you're ever around there, go and see her.
Amazing. Yeah, I don't really take much trips up to the north. Like, since doing events up there regularly, I tend to not really go outside of my area. I need to be more. I need invites, ladies. Invite me and I'll be there. I just need the invite.
Well, basically, we all go to, Gemma and I are at the same one of them, but we are at different satellite groups. So you could do a bit of a tour, because you could go and see Mel and Hayden in Surrey.
Yeah.
You could come and see Petra in North London. You could come and see me and Gemma at Broxbourne and Hertford. So yeah,
it gives me an excuse. Honestly, I need to get out of sort of this area. Like my same runs, I'm obviously training for Boston at the moment, and my routes are just the same thing, like the same, just because it's easy, just because I know what's going on. But I can go and do so many different routes. I don't really have that sort of, a lot of my friends are not in the area that run, or they're not runners. So they don't really get the point of waking up at 5 a.m. and going traveling all this way to go to a race. Like they just think I'm absolutely absurd. But they don't get it. So yeah, I will be checking up on you ladies, because I need a change.
You join us for Extreme Park Run.
Yeah, exactly. I want to do all of that. It's great. Like I just need to get out there.
Well, you've just made 4 new friends, so you can come and run with any of us.
You'll be sick of me by the end of the year, I promise you that.
So did you say you're training for Boston?
I am. It sounds weird that I say it, and I know that it's not far off now. Like I'm in week 11, coming to the end of week 11, should I say. So there really isn't, I'm on a 16-week plan. So there's not much, I'm in crunch time now, but I'm so excited. Honestly, it's going to be magical. I think when I actually qualified for Boston, I'm quite new to the long distance sort of running scene. And when I actually qualified for Boston, my coach at the time called me at the finish line, and I was like what? She was like, Jatila, you've just BQ'd. And I said, what? And she was like, you've just BQ'd. And I was like, what does that mean? She was like, you've just qualified for Boston. And I was like, wow, now it seems real. And I just didn't know the terms or the lingo or anything like that. But now I'm going to be on that plane.
So is that good for age, basically?
Yeah, it is. It's good for age. So yeah, obviously London was my first one, and it was probably one of the best experiences of my whole life. It was amazing. But yeah, so it's a good for age. So I can go ahead and enter for London as well again, which would be amazing just to go back and relive it. Yeah. But yeah, the main focus is Boston in a few weeks.
Yeah. Hold on. We've all done London. Mel, you've done London.
I have actually. I did it at the same time as Sheila, because actually my first London was October 21.
Yeah.
Supposed to do it.
Yeah,
2020. And I did the virtual, but this is kind of my one and only. I'm not really tempted at the moment to do another one, but you never know. But on the other hand, also tempted to do an ultra, because people keep telling me they're running buffets, so that appeals.
So much easier, Mel. So much easier.
Petra, do you think so? What do you think, ultra or marathon?
I love a marathon. I think I like to push myself, but then the ultra is lovely. It's a whole new world, really, and it is very much a running buffet. And it's you meet some amazing people on it, I think, because it's more relaxed, so you kind of do talk to each other a lot more. But yeah, definitely give it a try, Mel. Yeah,
not this year. I've got to wait till I get that early retirement, and then we'll do that. Only a couple of years.
So you're going to head out to Boston in April. Hayden's going to Boston, actually. You should.
He is. So I actually met Hayden for the first time at Park Run at Bushy Park. I was there on my own, just turned up, and I spotted him in the blue FORDY running top, and I was like, you can't miss him. So I was like, Hayden. I was like, hi. I was like, I'm just here. Like, I listened to the podcast, and we explained obviously how we're both going to Boston, but obviously you had to go one up and have Tokyo before, so we was talking about that, and obviously like the 6 stars that are coming in very soon. So yeah, like we're both heading out there. Very exciting. Yeah, it's a scary one.
And so you just said that the long distance and marathon is quite new to you. And so you've been running quite a while, haven't you? So what made you go from going, oh, I'm doing short distance to I want to do it?
I don't even know where to begin. So I started running, obviously, back in school, absolutely took a shine to it first instance, and joined a running club sort of around sort of year 10, 11 age, and just loved it. Joined a sprint team, joined the crew. It was amazing. Loved the short distance. Couldn't think of anything worse than running further than 2 laps of the track to warm up. It was like my worst enemy. I hated it. And did really well as a junior. Like I did so well, sort of national appearances and lots of like county titles and things like that. And absolutely loved the ride, lined up against some incredible people. And it just kind of got to that point where I was kind of coming to a halt with where I was at in terms of my work life. I started teaching at a school, so that as soon as I graduated, and I was doing sort of 3 hours, sort of like a day, going from work to school, and then from school to the track, and then track at home. Because with sprinting, you have specific time frames that you train: Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, sometimes Sundays, and it was just taking a real big toll. And then we started to do a little more interval stuff during winter periods, because I wanted to go up to maybe 2s and 4s, because I was just not progressing and wasn't enjoying.
What's a 2 and a 4? Sorry.
200 meters. Sorry, 200 and 400 meters. Yeah. So very short distances.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, maybe I'll go up and do some interval stuff. And it really took a shine. Like, it was really helpful. All of my friends at university were all long distance runners, middle distance. It wasn't so daunting having like tips and tricks from them. And yeah, I just kind of got into that sort of habit of trying to do a little bit more mileage, and then working for mass participation. I worked for Run Through for quite a few years, and the whole office was riddled with 5K runners, 10K runners, marathon runners, international here, international there. And through the Run Through running club, I got the London place, and they were like, "You wouldn't do it." And I was like, I love a challenge. Yeah, I did it, took it on, got quite injured during the early stages, just due to sort of probably overtraining, to be honest. I knew absolutely nothing, and ended up having a 9-week plan, but it turned out to be fantastic. And I crossed that line at London. I think from mile 1 to mile 26, I was smiling from ear to ear. Like, it was just incredible. Like, I can actually remember going through sort of mile 23, seeing all of my work friends there screaming, cheering for me. And I thought, how can I be feeling this great this far on? But it's just, I enjoyed it. I didn't run it to think of anything serious. I just went out and I enjoyed it. And I can't preach that enough for anybody that's attempting London and doing London, for example, like this year. Just go, honestly, enjoy it. It's the only thing that you can do to tackle your first marathon, honestly.
Do you guys all remember feeling like that about London?
Yeah, especially because it had been such a long build up to it, and I'd had to train 3 times because of lockdown, and I'd done the virtual, so I knew I could cover the distance. I did that slightly differently. I did that, I don't know if you know Crane Park, but I did 14 laps of Crane Park. That was my my virtual marathon.
That's one of my local runs.
So then going and doing London, I just remembered, like you said, smiling all the way around, and I just kept saying to myself, I'm actually running London Marathon. I'm actually on the course. I'm actually doing London Marathon. And it was just amazing. But I was also running for Tommy's for personal reasons as well. So it made it all the more special. But I was just grinning all the time, because I couldn't believe I was really there, because 25 years ago at school, I was sort of known more as the staff slug. I couldn't run more than 10 meters without pulling a calf muscle or something. So it was a real, just amazing.
Yeah. And Petra, have you done London twice?
No, just once. It was the first one I ever did, though. It was, I remember crying in a tunnel. So. But I just had I had no clue about it or what it was going to be like. And I remember there's this tunnel, it must be about 21 miles in, and it's the first time it's quiet. And I think it was really emotional at points, because it's so loud. I remember just suddenly being quiet and thinking, I'll have a little cry in here, and then put my brave face on when I see my family at the next kind of mile marker. So, but it is an amazing experience. I think you should just go and enjoy it and not worry about anything else, because it's just incredible, isn't it? Yeah.
I think it's really easy to say that, though, because I remember you saying that to me. I remember Gemma saying that to me, just go and enjoy it. But it is really, how did you, Gemma, you've done London?
3 times.
3
times, yes.
But yeah. Ballot, right?
Pardon?
Never a ballot place.
Never a ballot place, no. One day. I mean, a bit like Jatila, I mean, I'm nowhere near her level, but when I was at school, I was all about the 200-metre sprint. That was my distance. I used to hide in the bushes at cross country, hated it. But when I got to training for the London Marathon, it was like all those long runs with the unknown, weren't they? It was the first time you've ever run that distance, and I was just petrified at the start, absolutely petrified. But once you cross that start line, a bit like, you know, what you were saying. It was just, yeah, you just grin. The crowds are immense. And I know what you mean about
smiling now. You can just
yeah,
tell.
it gives you goosebumps. And I mean, I think they all talk about Tower Bridge, and I remember running through Bermondsey and just hearing this noise. And I ran London. It was after the Boston bombings.
Right.
That was all quite sort of heightened, and the security at London, you know, everyone, oh, should you run it? And all, you know, questioning whether it was the right thing to do. And so there was this feeling of like, and solidarity around the runners for those that, you know, lost their lives and were injured at Boston. And I remember running through Bermondsey and hearing this noise, and I thought something bad had happened. I thought a bomb had gone off, or there'd be, you know, something had fallen from the sky. It was horrendous. And all it was all those charity supporters on the bridge, you know, and they've got those inflatable batons hanging them together, and it's just an amazing experience.
Yeah. Isn't it funny, like the memories it brings back, and how everyone just smiles when you talk about it, even though, let's not lie, right, the training is painful. When you're like, you just said to Tila, I've got to run 18 miles tomorrow, and they're like,
I know
18 miles is a long way. And then
it's just the feeling at the end, though, is just when you don't think about the feeling. That I don't step out on an 18-mile run and I don't think, oh, I can't wait to just feel what I'm going to feel in that last sort of mile. It's like, it really is a mental battle that you have to have with yourself. And the fact that we do it over and over again, no matter what distance we do, whether it's the 200 meters, 5K, 10K, it's still a mental battle, no matter what foot you're putting on the line. But it is so worth it, and we keep doing it for a reason. So
yeah, you're right. Do you know what's funny? This week we were meant to do a 5K kind of time trial around a track, which got cancelled because of the snow, which is a bit gutting, because we don't really get to run on a track around here, because lots of clubs basically book them out, book them all weeks. We can't get hold of one. But a few people who I won't name have had bets with their partners this week about who could be quicker over 100 meters or 400 meters. So at some point, Jatila, we're going to get you around a track.
Oh,
and their partners don't run. So this is why it's going to be brilliant.
Yeah. Can I just be the track official? I mean, I haven't dug out my spikes in a good while, but I'll be there with a whistle. Give me a whistle and a little something, and I'll be there to go.
That's what the guys say about me when I turn up in my dry race on a Tuesday, Wednesday night. They're like, oh no.
You know, it's going to be a serious session when you got your whistle and dry robe on.
Yeah.
Poor Petra's face every time I turn up looking like that.
I almost get back in the car.
Don't think we're ever going to let Hayden have a whistle.
No.
He bribes us with chocolate instead to do intervals.
Oh, yeah.
We just play stealing chocolate games. That's much better. It makes us run quick.
These lot just get me with a whistle going, move. And then Petra last time went to put her jacket back on and then looked at me and I went, you're not going to need that just yet. She was like, I'll leave that there, shall I?
I didn't need it.
I don't know who that was. It's just commented saying, get me out of there when Sabrina did the dry robe. But I'm gentle most of the time, I promise. Right, should we go to the lightning round if we can, and then we'll come back and we'll talk running rituals. So Jatila, Mel is going to basically ask you some quick fire questions. You'll know the answers to all of them, but basically just say whatever comes to mind.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it's a bit quiet now, just the two of us. So
Okay.
as Sabrina's already said, you'll know all the answers, just whatever comes first to mind, and hopefully there's a few fun things in here as well. So we'll get started as it's a lightning round. What's your pre-race breakfast?
Oh, a coffee and a banana.
Okay. Favourite race or distance?
Marathon.
Okay. Normal pants or running pants?
Normal pants.
Female running icon?
Oh, Alison Felix.
Okay. Post-race celebration drink, G&T or a Prosecco?
Prosecco, always. Love a Prosecco.
Race nutrition, gel or a sort of diluted drink or normal food?
Gel.
Okay. Favourite post-race snack? And I wonder if it's the same you put in your bio and on the run-through website. I've been doing a bit of a...
It's my post-race snack. Oh, probably, I know, cheese.
Cheese. Oh,
Cheese.
savoury.
Yeah, cheese. I'm addicted to cheese. I just love it. Cheese and wine, maybe with some grapes.
Cheese.
Cold
Love cheese.
No, I know.
I thought you might say flapjack because of you were
You
persuaded.
know what? I've had way too many of them over the past sort of 8 years. I think I need to let them go. Yeah.
Okay. Favourite brand of running bra?
Oh, probably Nike. I've got small boobs. I don't really do too much in terms of looking for bras.
Okay. Run with headphones or without headphones?
Yeah.
And are you a morning or an evening runner?
Morning if I can.
Okay. And favourite run through event that you ran?
That I've ran. It's got to be, I've actually ran.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I haven't ran that many. So it'd probably have to be Victoria Park, because it was the first time I ever went sub-2 in the half marathon.
Amazing. And do you have running ambition or sort of bucket list race that you like to do? I mean, you're already doing Boston, but I mean, any other bucket list race?
You know what? I would like to do more London-based half marathons. I've only done the big half, but I would like to try and do some different ones. Like Landmarks would be great to do, or even just trial Hackney half as well.
Yeah. Landmarks was my first one.
Was it? Everybody that gets it, I'm so jealous.
It was supposed to be my only one. I did it the inaugural one. Anyway, that is the end of the lightning round. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I can't believe you've not done Landmarks.
I know. I'm such a basic. I'm telling you now, I'm such a basic.
Landmarks. Have we all done that? Gemma, have you done Landmarks? Are you in this
I'm doing it this year though.
Okay. Oh, I'm excited for you. Petra did Landmarks just as a dog.
Did you?
Yeah, full on guide dog, big head and
that.
everything. In August, I think it was as well.
Oh yes, the one that came, the moved one.
Yeah.
Yes. Surprise, I'll be there volunteering, not running.
Well, we love that because we know that the volunteers are the ones that make these things happen. So thank you to Mel and the team that get out there and make it all happen and keep us going. Right, shall we talk running rituals? So I know people like, what do you mean running rituals? The things that we all do that we either think about consciously or do subconsciously. And this has come about because I've realised I've got some weird things in my head about certain things I'll wear, certain things I eat, timings, all sorts. And I'm sure everyone's got them, whether you do it consciously or subconsciously. I thought it would just be really interesting to hear what are our rituals? What are the things we do? And it can be before a race, a run, a short run, a long run, whatever, just on a general night. So have you guys got anything? Gemma, have you got anything that you...
Oh, this is hard because I think it's changed. I think originally when I kind of first started out and started doing sort of like the big races and things, I was all over the whole flat lay, just having everything out, checking everything, making, eating the same the breakfast, everything had to be just so. Whereas kind of now that has gone out the window. Always have to have a cup of tea, whether I'm doing a park run or doing a marathon, whatever. I've always got to have my cup of tea, regardless.
How soon before running can you have a cup of tea?
Oh, quite soon. Sometimes when I've gone out for when we used to do those long runs, ready for the marathon, I'd like rock up and I'd like have my tea in my car in my thermos, and I'd be a good old few swigs of it, and then it'd still be hot after the run as well. So I've always got to have my tea. I don't know really.
When do you think it changed? Because obviously you've done it's like 12 marathons or something.
Yeah.
When do you think it changed when you went actually next?
Then maybe after about sort of 5th or 6th marathon. It's kind of probably been the last sort of 4 years or so. Just
you're easy come now.
I'm a bit, although saying that, and I always get a bit of stick from Danny, who's in the FORDY group. She's always so colour coordinated, and I'm not. I'm like literally whatever comes out the drawer first. And I've got a pair of running leggings I've literally had since my first started my running journey, and they've got holes in them, like on the sides and things. But they're not not causing any sort of chafing or anything like that. They're comfy. And I've also got a pair of running shorts that I've run so many marathons in and done PBs in them. And they are just frayed, but I can't get rid of them and I usually put them on for a race because they work. And so I suppose that's a sort of running ritual in a way. As much as it annoys some people, they're like, I'm going to come with my needle and thread next time.
But it's that, like, now you can't get rid of them, because what happens if you don't have them?
Or if you wear something that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than, if something starts chafing and...
Yeah, that's not going to be good.
No.
Petra, how about you? Have you got anything that's a bit that you do?
I think I'm quite anxious about running whether it's a race or a long run. So I have to be like, I'll go and get the gels ready the night before and count out how many I need, and then it'll be go back and check they're there, and my kit will be laid out ready. And I think I've got more relaxed as time's gone on, but there's still that thing that I need. My kit will all be piled up ready to go for the next morning, so it's all there and ready. It just takes off that pressure, I think, the morning of. My head's all over the place on the morning anyway, so it's just like, at least my kit's there and ready. So I suppose that's kind of one of them. But I think I'm more relaxed nowadays. I did because I've got a gluten intolerance, so the minute I stay away somewhere for a race, it's a whole new ball game for me, really. And I remember going to Great North Run, and I'd always been so consistent about what I'd had, and then we had breakfast out, and you suddenly couldn't have what you used. And I remember thinking, how would this, it's changing it on race day, which everyone tells you never to do. And I had an absolutely fine running. I think that really helped calm some of those nerves and take away that need to always kind of eat, because you'd eat the same breakfast all the time. It was always a bagel with peanut butter, for example. And I think it's kind of helped me relax a little bit and think I don't have to have the same breakfast. It will all be all right. But
yeah. And what about you, Mel? Have you got anything? I bet you've got a list.
Oh, I have a list for everything. I make lists for everything. When I did the marathon, I had my list of what was going in the bag because it was having to be shipped off earlier, and what was I needed on race day, and what the other people were having for me to bring for me. But I was trying to think about rituals and things. I think Carl has more of rituals. He literally has his porridge followed by a little espresso shot of coffee, followed by getting down to race weight.
And I was like, what's she talking about? I'm like, oh, I get.
But I was thinking, I don't have so many. And then I was thinking, oh yeah, actually, I'm more like, I have set clothes I'll wear for set things. So if it's a park run day, it's definitely got to be a park run top. And I have those sort of kit that goes for park run. And then I have my FORDY kit if I'm doing a FORDY race. And then when I sat listening to everybody else, I'm thinking, yeah, but then I always pull out the pink bra and the pink pants because pink makes you run faster. So I've got my pink underwear on. And then other things I was thinking, I do like to have a buff to run with on my hand, mostly because I have an eye issue with skin around my eye that's very irritable. So if I start to sweat too much, it burns and I get all sorts of problems. So I always have to have a buff so that I can wipe it off, or even just at the end of the race, soak it in water to kind of like have a quick wash. With that. But so that's probably more like rituals. But I used to do all the lay flat thing before races. I am one of those people who likes to get everything ready beforehand. But I was trying to think about what other kind of rituals people might have. So I kind of was thinking, do people wear lucky pants? Is there a certain way they tie their laces? Do they have a bit of jewelry that they always wear for special races? I know when I did the marathon, I had some special earrings that had angel wings, because I was running in memory of my twin boys. So I wanted to take them on the run with me. So things like that, I think they're not so much a ritual, but they're something that is connected to a particular race where I do a particular thing that links with that, maybe.
Yeah, no, I get that. But it is interesting. It's funny, I've never got into the flat lay thing.
Neither have I.
No,
I don't think my kit ever looks that great enough to put down on a flat lay and sort of have it all ready. Like I'm I wear the same basic tops and shorts. I need to venture out.
What are yours then, Jatila? What have you got?
So what I was thinking about this, and one that only really came around since the London Marathon was I always run with headphones. I have them on low, but I just like to have a playlist that gets me going. I can turn it on, I can turn it off if I need to be, but I didn't need it really for London because, as you all know, the streets are way much better than headphones. But I always make sure the night before that my Spotify playlist is all sort of up to date, picked out some cool songs, some that maybe my partner's chosen or that some friends have brought up, and I make sure I download them because for London, I will never forget getting off the train at Blackheath and walking over the field, never experiencing all these people heading in the same direction. And I was trying to play my music on Spotify, and because of the connection, nothing was working. So like the internet connection was shocking. I couldn't get anything through until I got to about a mile in. So anyone that's running London that likes to run with headphones, make sure you download your music beforehand. So that's literally something I'll do before every single race, regardless of where I go. And then I think on the same thing as like the breakfast situation, I struggle really bad. I should really stick to a gluten intolerant sort of diet, but it depends on what I'm doing, where I'm going or whatever. I'm not too bad. I'm not sort of like celiac or anything like that, but I will always have a massive dinner the night before. But my breakfast will always be really small because I struggle so much with bloating. Like it's just awful. I could have maybe like a bagel or 2 bagels or something small like porridge, and I'll feel that it's just way too heavy on my stomach. I feel like I'd need to get up 3 hours before to have something like that to be able to see me through. So I make sure I hammer my dinner the night before, like anything. And I'd normally go for a typical like either like a steak, dauphinoise potatoes, some good vegetables, like asparagus, tomatoes, like the same thing every single race. And it's getting to the point now where it's normally an excuse that, oh, if I'm doing parkrun, I can have a steak and dauphinoise potatoes and vegetables the night before. It doesn't quite work like that, but we make it work. But yeah, it's very strange. I don't think I'll be able to see past the banana and coffee or small portion of fruit now, just because I know that it works for me and I've had such good things with that. Like I've just done my events and they've been fine. But yeah, the same meal all the time. In terms of like outfits, I always wear the same shorts. So they're not running specific shorts. They're just like a website that I found. They're like gym-based shorts. They're nice and long, just above the knee. Because I had an issue back in the summer when training for the London Marathon. The chafe I got was just insane on one of my long runs, and it was just because the shorts were just too short, and I thought there's absolutely no way I can continue like this, so stocked up on these shorts, and they're a statement to my running outfit now. Like they will not see me in another pair, probably a different color, but the exact same shorts, because I just can't. It's very, very strange, but now that I know that they work, I won't do that again.
And did you buy multiple pairs of the same shorts? Because
multiple pairs, but 2 in black and then 1 in like a different color. So I'm on rotation of 3 now. I'm definitely due an upgrade. But yeah, there's this. I could probably tick off some more, and I think probably just some stupid ones I have is my hair. I always have my hair in braids because I've got a lot of hair, so I like to keep it out of my face, and braids just work. And then probably my eyelashes. I always put eyelashes on. I know that sounds crazy.
Fake eyelashes?
Yeah, I know. I feel like if you look good, you'll run fast.
I mean, I love that as a theory, but how do you? So, like, I'm terrible for. So, Mel, you know, you were talking about the buff, and you're right. Chris and the boys will tell you there was one day we were out on a run and we were filming something, and it was like tips for the winter. My answer to everything was a snood or a buff, because I was like, oh, it keeps you warm. Oh, I can rub my face with it. Oh, I can do this with it. Like, I'm a bit like you, Mel. I've always got one on my wrist, around my neck.
Very versatile.
How do they stay on? Or are you just really good and you don't sweat?
I mean, I couldn't tell you how they stay on, but they do. So I just keep doing it. And I mean, I've always worn them. I think it's one of those things. I'm not really a sort of a person that is sort of head to toe makeup. I'm useless. But the eyelashes are always sort of a statement just for me, just feeling comfortable in my own skin. It's very weird that some people have different things, like the hair a certain way or the way that they sort of portray themselves, and I just think the eyelashes were always something. Like have such short eyelashes. Like, no, I'm going to wear them. So yeah, everywhere, every single time I'd have to put them on before a race. So if you see me without them, I've had an awful morning.
We'll know now.
Yeah.
So mine are pretty similar, I guess. And the reason I was thinking about this is because we spoke about this a few weeks ago, but I was eating a terrible breakfast, and then I went to a couple of races. Petra was with me at one, and I got this awful pain. I was like, oh my God. But it was the breakfast that I'd always eaten, which was like Weetabix, right, with milk and an orange squash. And I was on this run with Chris, and I was like, oh my God, this pain in my side. I can't breathe. It's awful. And he was like, right, what did you eat? And we were down this dual carriageway on the side of the road. And I'm like, I had Weetabix. He's like, with milk. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, you're an idiot, aren't you? And I was like, oh, really? He's like, and when did you eat? I was like, I don't know, about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. He's like, well, I'm not surprised. Your body hasn't digested it. So now I've gone to toast with peanut butter or a bagel with a drizzle of honey on and a banana, which sounds mad, but it seems to work. And both times this year that I've PB'd and run really well, I've had that, and I ate it on both times, on both of those days around the same time. I know I sound crazy now. You know when you talk out loud and you think, am I actually saying this? Have I become that person? But I don't know, the races were at a similar time and I ate at a similar time, and it worked on both days. And then this is also silly, because what difference does what colour top make to how you run? None. It can't, right? Logically. But last year, both times all 3 times actually when I PB'd, I was in a blue FORDY top. And then both times this year that I've PB'd, I've been in the same pink top. Always the same black shorts, always, right? Because I'm a bit like you, Tatila. You find a pair that work and you just stick to them. Mine are from Decathlon. In the waistband, you can put your gels, your phone, everything just fits, and they're just super comfortable. I've got 3 pairs of the same shorts. But yeah, you're like, how can a colour of a top make any difference? But now in my head, I'm like, oh, yeah. So then I'm like, well, what happens if I want to go for it at a 5K or whatever and I wear a different top? And then will I kick myself if it doesn't happen? Or if I wear that top and it doesn't? Honestly, it's mad, isn't it? The things that you start to think about with what you...
I wonder if it's a bit psychological as well, though. If you've got a top that you feel really comfortable in, therefore that makes you feel better about yourself, makes you feel more relaxed, and therefore that has that impact then on your running because you're more relaxed about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I think you're right.
Affect us in different ways.
Yeah, I think it goes to Tila's point as well. If you feel good, so I know my pink top, I always feel really good in because I just love the colour of it. So yeah, I think you're right. If you feel good, you feel better about it. Have you ever worried about
you do want to feel good, no matter what, you want to go out there, you want to smash it, you want to just go out there and get the job done to the standard that you want it done, and you want to look and feel good doing it. That's just my motto, girls.
Yeah. And Gemma, at what point are you gonna what will have to happen to those leggings and shorts before you go, they've got to go, or you've got to introduce a new pair? Are you going to start slowly, or are you just going to wait and see?
I think I have to fall apart. I think I need to find the exact same pair, really. And I think that's what I need to do. When I find something that works, is just to buy multiple items of it.
Make sure you post a photo of it before it gets too sort of, you can't notice what it is anymore, just to keep it, make sure you remember what it looks like.
And even the sizing, and you look in the label and it's all fading. What ones were they?
Yeah. And then because they stretch a bit, don't they? Everything will always change a bit. So you're like, was it that size?
It probably wasn't.
Yeah. Have clothes ever bothered you, or is it more because you've got the gluten thing to worry about? You've had always a different distraction.
I think you have to feel comfortable to be. There's nothing worse, is there, than turning up and feeling uncomfortable in something you've got on, or you have to feel comfortable, I think, to just have that kind of, to be relaxed and be able to just go and get the job done, really, I think. So I think the more comfortable you are, we all know how many running clothes I've got. I've probably got enough to keep us all clothed for the whole year, but...
But is there a specific top to I won't put the pressure on, but I know at some point you're going to go and run a marathon to see how far you can go and how fast you can, how much you can push it. Is there going to be a certain kit that you go, it's that top?
I would go, I think it's my classic pink FORDY top, because that's what I've always done
Yeah.
my PBs in, I think, like the big ones that I've been after. So I imagine that top probably, I think race day, that top kind of comes out.
Yeah.
It feels good. But yeah, so the old school kind of the bright pink.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know the
The
one.
thing with the 40 tops on as well, though, is everyone can see you. If you've got your name on them, you've got other 40s shouting out, that's also going to encourage you as well. So you've got that feeling of sense of belonging as part of something, which really helps, I think, for me.
And that can make a big difference to your performance as well.
Yeah.
If you've got that support from other people, it can make a big difference to the day.
Yeah,
you're notice another thing that I don't do at all, but a lot of girls like to get their nails done and have these amazing designs, like race day designs, and they're like in the theme of, like, say, the London landmarks colouring and or the London Marathon colouring.
I need to try that. I've never been a nail person. Never.
Me neither.
I think, I've always been, my job role's always sort of been like sort of hands-on-y. I'm the sort of person that I'll pick something up, it'll break off. I can't be asked to repaint them because I'm just lazy. But yeah, I'd like to try it actually, because they do look cool. They do.
And I say, it's not going to make any difference really to your performance in terms of what you're able to do, but if it makes you feel better, and it can help.
I've just realised it's one of my rituals.
Yeah.
My nails done.
Do you go the same colour, Mel, or are you like happy to go rogue?
No, I tend to go like a colour that matches my top. So if I'm going to be racing my FORDY top, it'll be like, and I really love glitter. I don't know if I've put these to the camera. You can see I've got gold on there at the moment. I love glittery nails. I think because for years I was 35 before I stopped biting my nails.
Right.
So this is kind of a new thing I ventured into, getting my nails done when I couldn't keep buying clothes because they were getting too big, and at least you can always get your nails done even if you're having a fat day. So I got my nails done first for a race when I did the inaugural landmarks, but I was running for Tommy's and I wanted a colour that matched my vest, and that's when people were having all these amazing designs on. But then if we've got something coming up, I'll think about what I'm going to be wearing, what colour I might be doing, especially if I've got a charity top or something like that, and then match my nails up. And being a reception teacher, I mean, the children in the class always love to see the glitter. So it's become a bit of a ritual to plan out when my next lot of nails will go in for a race day.
Yeah, that is good. I've just seen someone's listening from Texas or tuned in. Hello.
I was just about to say that, Sabrina. There's someone saying happy Friday from Texas. We also had someone from the Pyrenees saying they'd sent us some snow, and someone from Prescott, Arizona.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
that's amazing.
Crazy.
And there was some love for your hair as well, Jatila, as well.
Oh, thank you, guys. Yeah, it's I can't wait to get the braids back, I must say, because it's very high maintenance, should I say. So when you wake up early for a race, the last thing you want to be doing is your hair. So or early in the mornings for work, the last thing I want to be doing is this. So roll on the braids. But thank you.
And someone from Boston as well. So you're going to
wow.
Yeah, we're completely international today.
Blown away.
Yeah. So on the ritual thing, just before we kind of finish on that, is there anything that you just won't change now, or anything that you're like, it will just go out the window?
I don't know. I think I might be in it for the long run now. Like, quite literally, I think I might. Everything that I've mentioned is now that it's because I think I'm still in them early stages of sort of racing. I don't really race regularly, apart from certain park runs and things like that. But I'm kind of in that stage where I'm doing well at most of the races that I'm doing, and I'm enjoying it, and everything's all sort of, everything around me is just going well in terms of like my training and things like that. But so I feel like until something doesn't really go the way I wanted it to, whether it be like a race or a period of training, I probably won't change. But I feel like you need to have those times where it doesn't necessarily go right, to be like, maybe it's time that I just really focus on, why didn't that go right? Do I need to change this? Like the self-reflection sort of thing.
Yeah.
But until you have that self-reflection and thinking that you can change things, I wouldn't change much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So also, before I forget, there is some really exciting news which has come in whilst we've been on here. But we've been shortlisted for the Sports Podcast Awards. which is pretty mind-blowing, if I'm honest, which we were all very excited about and a bit giddy about if you're watching a bit earlier, because this thing popped up and I was like, how? So we say it, but I mean, we're completely independent. We are just a bunch of friends, to be perfectly honest, that like running and like talking about running and sit on a Friday night and have a chat. So the fact that we've been shortlisted and that, is amazing. So thank you to everybody that listens to us, and that I'm sure there'll be a voting thing, so we will let you all know how to do that in due course coming up. But I can't believe we're at 5 to 8 already. So I guess, what are we doing this weekend and what's next in general for us? Like, what's the thing? And I think, if you want to know what's after Boston, have you got a plan for after Boston? What are you thinking?
You know what, I don't, but what I do know is I'm somebody that needs a goal. And so sort of post London, I become very sort of a little bit lazy as we headed into sort of the Christmas period. And then Manchester obviously came up. So I was like, you know what? I applied in January. I paid up in January. Everything was fine. Then I had a goal. So I think probably I've got the perfect opportunity to maybe tackle Hackney Half, because it's one that I do want to do as well, which is in May.
Yeah.
So that kind of will follow off quite nicely from doing Boston, which is on a Monday. Can I just add? It's just mental that it's on a Monday.
Yeah.
And then sort of reel off from Boston, come back to the UK, have sort of like a rest up period, and then probably go into something like Hackney Half just for the experience. I've heard the atmosphere is amazing as well. Just to keep myself going, you know, that if I've got something there, I'll keep going. So I think that could be the one for me. And then long term, I think I might try and tie down and go into some shorter distances, like wouldn't say 200 meters and 400 meters, but definitely like 5Ks and 10Ks, because they've only been like my training runs. But I think I'm ready to have a break on my Sundays now and just maybe do less mileage.
Yeah. And can I just say, Hackney Half, I think, as lots of races, everyone enjoys different things. I think I said it the other week, was one of my favourites, right? The course is tough, but I ran it with Petra last year, and I just remember, I think the support is basically as good as London. There was only about a kilometre or half a mile where it was a bit quiet. I just remember it being so noisy. Did you remember that, Petra? I'm not going mad, am I? It was really like...
It's amazing, the support out there. It was, like you say, there wasn't many parts where it was quiet, and it was just really noisy. You've got the live music at points, and it was just a really lovely day, wasn't it, from kind of start to finish? And everyone was out there having a good time, and it was that really hot weekend as well, considering, but everybody was just having a great time, and it was really good fun. Definitely a good one to do.
I'd go back and do Hackney again. Like I said, I think it's a tough. I wouldn't go to run a PB there, because I think it's tight and it's busy, and it ends up being that weekend, the first weekend, where it's really hot and you're like, oh my god, I haven't trained in this heat. But the support is second to that. Like, it's basically like London on a smaller scale. It's incredible.
Yeah, I'd be so excited. I remember seeing everyone doing it last year. I was away for work at that time. Oh no, I'm actually lying. I was on a hen do in Ibiza. That's a complete lie. And I was coming back, and I saw everybody, and quite a few people were just sort of talking and posting about it. It just looked amazing. And I was like, that just looks like fun. You know, you just know you're going to enjoy yourself, regardless of the time on the clock, regardless how you feel. So catch me on that start line.
All right. Mel, what are you up to? What's going on this weekend? You're always somewhere doing something.
So I am doing my 98th volunteering at Parkrun at Bushy this weekend. I'm going to be on the back gate on the funnel, because we've got an all-women, there's 64 of us, all women's volunteer crew, including female pacers this weekend, because obviously it was International Women's Day on Wednesday. So that's what's happening at Bushy. And then I'm going to volunteer the next couple of weeks, because I'm going to be doing my 100th on the 25th.
Which, Mel, is just phenomenal. We talk about people running park runs and 25, 50s, 100s and beyond even, but to volunteer and to give your time up 100 Saturday mornings to give people an opportunity to run in a safe and inclusive environment, I think is phenomenal. So hats off to you. That is That is
a
a
number of
achievement.
them I get to run as well, because I did a lot of guide running as well, which if anybody hasn't done that, that's just such an amazing thing to do. Really love guide running. But yeah, it'll be good. It'll be a good one. I think there's a few FORDYs hoping to sign up for that one and come and join us. I'll be volunteer coordinator that weekend. But yeah, looking forward to tomorrow and the celebration of International Women.
Yeah. Can I just say on that point before I get to the other two and what you guys are doing this weekend? Two things. Cambridge Half at the weekend as well was all female pacers, which I thought was brilliant as well. Yeah, all female pacers. And the 1:30 pacer, she was sat next to us and she was honestly incredible. She had just run 5K to warm up and then was going out to pace 1:30. Right. And she came flying past me and I was like, Jesus, she was incredible. So hats off to all of those women as well that paced at the weekend. And did you see the post from London Marathon today? I can't believe I forgot to mention about the fact that what they're doing to support women in the marathon. So like all of the first aid tents are now going to have sanitary products in. They've teamed up with some big brands so that people don't have to carry stuff, which I just thought was incredible. They were talking about breastfeeding places. There was a whole load of stuff. I wish I could reel them all off on the top of my head, but ladies and men, massive. Honestly, I was like so pleased that they are realising that, biologically we are different and we need some support. So the shift is happening. That's amazing. Anyway, I can't believe we're an hour, so we'll wrap up in a second. But Gemma, this weekend you are?
This weekend, I think we're at Thurrock Parkrun tomorrow. So I've completed my UK alphabet. Still got the Z to do, so that'll be either Poland or The Hague. But there's Mark Sloan and Danny, who's part of the FORDY group. They've still got a few letters to get to complete the UK alphabet. So I'm hopefully going to go there with them, and that should be followed by a nice post-parkrun breakfast, which is my main ritual at the moment. It's all about the post-breakfast. And then to beyond that, I haven't really got any kind of, still looking for that major kind of goal or focus. I've got a little bit lazy, but at the same time, just enjoying getting out there and running. But I have got landmarks and I have got Hackney Half.
Oh yeah, are you doing Hackney as well?
Yeah.
Oh, and I can't have you saying you're lazy because no one that's run 12 marathons be classed as lazy. So I'm liking that. And Petra?
Yeah, this weekend I'm going to go to Jersey Farm Parkrun to get my J because I'm very behind on the alphabet. So
have you got your trail shoes, Petra?
I have. They're in the bag ready to go because everybody's told me to pack them. So yeah, I've got those. And then I'm going to work on my 10K time, I think this side of the summer, and then maybe in the autumn we'll see what we can do then on the longer distance. You?
I'm going to go to, where am I going tomorrow? I'm going to Castle Park. So if anyone's in Bishop Stortford tomorrow, I'm going to run with Tracy Whittington. So I know Mel made that face because Tracy's an absolute hero. So I'm very, very excited.
Big shout out to Tracy actually, because I think she did her sort of fastest 10K for a while, didn't she?
She did, which she didn't tell anyone about. So Tracy is just an absolute hero. She comes on a Tuesday night and she epitomizes everything this club is about. She's just a wonderful, wonderful human. And she didn't tell anyone really, but she was going to go and run a 10K on her own at this race last weekend. And she just went and smashed out a brilliant 10K. So yeah, we love you, Tracy, and well done. Right, we are over an hour now. Thank you so much for your time, ladies, for joining and being here. Thank you, everyone, for the comments and the messages. And again, thank you to Skechers who kindly sponsor us and keep us going. We will be back next week, and it's Toby's birthday next week. He's going to hate me having told everyone that, but it is Toby's birthday next Friday, so he might not be here. He is back from Tokyo, so we will see him again soon. But yeah, the guys will be back next Friday. So thank you very much, and we'll see you all soon. Titles, please. There he is.
Beautiful.